Colton. And now for our next guest. She is a whimsical world builder, a visual storyteller, and a color enthusiast, if you can't tell by now. But today she's joining Studio 10 to show us how she approaches all of it. We have the wonderful, award-winning Steph Joy Hogan in studio today. How are you?
Excellent. I'm excited to be here.
I'm very excited to have you here today because you're creating that whimsical world all around us here. But you currently have a solo exhibition, your first at Lansing Art Gallery. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How amazing. We're giving a lot of congrats, a lot of flowers to our guests here today in Studio 10. But tell me a little bit about your work as a mixed media painter.
Yeah, so I did study art in school, but I studied more formal fine art like painting, sculpture, drawing, things like that. I didn't find mixed media until I turned 40. So this is all relatively new to me. This particular process, I've really taught myself just through experimentation. I love playing with old papers. I have a geography textbook from the 1860s that was just disintegrating that I love to tear apart and use the maps as just like part of the worlds that I build. And that's really just using all those layers of paint and paper to create sort of hopeful little universes and the creatures that inhabit them. It's really inspiring.
I love that. So tell me, so is that what you're saying is mixed media? It's about taking those different pieces of materials, not your traditional like paint and paintbrush.
Yeah, I do use paint and paintbrush, but it's a combination. So I use found papers, maps, book pages, sheet music, as well as hand-painted art papers that I create, and acrylic paints, markers, pens, anything I can get my hands on and combine them all in different layers.
That is awesome. And the sheet music too. Now you're talking my language. You're putting all this work and you're able to put it together. Now with that being said, do you have a signature style? So when we go out and we see artwork, how do we know, hey, this is a Steph Joy Hogan original right here?
Yeah, I think that my style is pretty definitive. You can see in the pieces that I have here in the studio, very sort of outer space themed. You'll have lower grounds, but lots of nebulous skies, lots of planets, lots of little creatures. I do some different art styles, but these pieces that you see here today, which are what are featured in the show at Lansing Gallery, are really my signatures. You've seen them recently on Cata bus stops and Cata buses in East Lansing, and people spot them and recognize them right away.
Right away. So with that being said, we have to start with the one right behind you. Tell me a little bit more as to how you created this piece.
Yeah, so this is actually one of my largest in this particular series, which I call Scrapscapes. It's one of the largest to date. And you can see the hand-painted papers in the background, that sort of nebulous sky I create, and then I layer the found papers down below. We've got a little bit of that 1860s map down in the lower left corner. And then I illustrate the rockets and creatures on top of it using fine tip pens, fine tip brushes, and it's like a page out of a storybook or a page out of a field guide of the universe.
I love that, and the fact that it's layers upon layers and layers of more and more work. Now, like you said, you have an exhibition at Lansing Art Gallery. Tell us a little bit about that, what else we can find in there too.
Yeah, so I actually have 47 original artworks from this collection at Lansing Gallery right now. The exhibition started last Saturday. It runs through the end of April, and I'm so excited to share all these little stories. Each one is unique, all different colors, all different subject matters, all these scrapscapes, these space themes that I do, but different creatures, different plants and things like that, and I'm really excited.
I love that. You guys are really the artists that create Lansing and create the community it is that we love. And we have to give a shout out to your outfit because this is also a Steph Joy Hogan original. Can we get a close up here? Can we do a 360? Just a nice 360. Look at that. Creating a world in the clothing it is that you live in too as well. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your work and sharing your creativity. If we want more of your work, or we want to look at it, or even commission, or even get a sweatshirt just like this, how can we find you?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on stephjoyhogan.com. I'll have originals and reproductions there, as well as this sweatshirt. And for March and April, you can find my artwork at Lansing Gallery. And there is a reception Thursday, March 20th at 5:30 that I would love to see all the WILX viewers there.
Yes, that is right. Well, don't forget, you can see her. We'll have all that information online. Steph, thank you so much for giving us the artist approach. But don't go anywhere just yet. Like we said, of course.